What is up, YouTube? That's here today. I'm back playing more Pokemon VGC 2023 Regulation D rank battles, and today we're busting out a hard Trick Room team that uses the Ice Force Glastrier, uses a super strong Poison Tera Urshifu, and a Heatran. A Heatran that actually on the team that was submitted has Power Gem over Earth Power. That's crazy cool. Also has like Charge Beam, Electric Tera, Cresselia. This is a super cool team. It's submitted to me on Patreon on our official team submission post. Think about checking out this post if you guys want me to fix your teams. Do my absolute best to take a look at them, use them in some games, and do my best to clean up all your EVs, make sure you're using all the right items, and give you a different look, a different perspective on how I would personally play your team so you guys can play them in that same way or fuse it with your own playstyle to make whatever you want to work. This team is submitted by Siren, and they have really good descriptions for every single one of their mons. I know I personally want to see their Pincurchin team they're working on, and I think it's a really cool team. If we take a look at some of these mons, I think the EV spreads on a lot of these guys need some work. I think it's the biggest thing I'm going to be able to provide is EV spread tweaking, but the 6 mons here are very solid. What I really like about this team is, yeah, you can just go like, well, yeah, you can't fake out Trick Room. The Rilla doesn't have fake out. But you can bluff fake out Trick Room with the Rilla. And other than that, what I like here is the fact that you have an Urshifu here as your one fast Pokemon. I would say you should still maybe think about adding a second fast Pokemon. But having an Urshifu next to a Trick Room setter says, hey, you have to deal with this Urshifu, or I'm just going to start Wicked Blowing, one-shotting all of your mons. If you don't deal with this Urshifu's going to get a KO, and if you do deal with the Urshifu, if it gets a KO before you deal with it, you trade 1 for 1 and get your Trick Room up, which immediately allows us to bring out the Glastrier, the Heatran, or the Rillaboom, and just continue sweeping. So I really like how aggressive this team is and how it's a different take on what a hard Trick Room or like a hyper-offensive Trick Room would look like. So hopefully we get some wins. We're going to go play some games live, then we're going to fix the team, and then we're going to play some more games with the fixed team. So if you guys like this sort of content, you want to learn more about team building, let me know in the comments below. And without further ado, let's hop right into it. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, Tyranitar. It's been a while since I've seen one of those, and a Kilowattrel with a Gothitelle? That's a unique looking team. I think our only loss here is like some sort of Tailwind tech from like Kilowattrel where we don't get up Trick Room. So like if they were to lead like Kilowattrel Goth and go like fake out Tailwind into maybe bringing out like a Specs Dango, we might lose. I think that's probably our only loss. I'm trying to check like some of our stats here. We do have Stomping Tantrum on our Glastrier, so that's good versus Goldango. I think realistically we can just get up Trick Room though. I think like a mixture of like Farigiraf and a Rillaboom will lead to Trick Room going up. I think that's probably the safest thing that we have. And then something, we could also actually do like a different lead if we want to experiment a little bit and go with something that forces our opponent to respect our options. I think Rillaboom and like Giraffe would probably just say no Trick Room, easy peasy, but like something like this says they have to respect Urshifu. Urshifu trades 1 for 1. We get up Trick Room, and then we actually have an open spot to bring out our sweepers in the back, and we can actually just win the game within like the next 2 turns. So it's just a different way of approaching Trick Room, and I think we're gonna try this. Yeah, I think that you should be using this Urshifu more as like a, hey, you gotta respect this Urshifu, you gotta respect this Urshifu. If you don't respect this Urshifu, you lose, because it's just gonna start one-shotting things, and you could definitely start throwing like a band or a scarf on this guy and be more of a bully, and just start making it trade with things that might even threaten us with like a taunt or something. Could be a really good play. So let's see what happens here. So Dango, right? We were talking about that Goldango being a problem. We were talking about Tyranitar being a problem. This Urshifu here checks both of those Pokemon. And realistically, only one of those Pokemon threatens our Farigiraf. So like, if we were just to throw up a Trick Room and just go for like a close combat on the Tyranitar, get the Tyranitar off the board, soak the Make It Rain, bring out a Glastrier, we'd probably win the game. Another thing, we could also just go like Fairy Tera, block the Crunch, maybe make ourselves open to taunt here. But I think that could be a good play here. I'm trying to think of who we care more about, Tyranitar or Goldango. And I think we're just going to go Fairy Tera here. Standard, just to make sure we take less from Crunch, right? And just go for a big Wicked Blow into the Goldango slot. I'm going to seal up the Goldango here. If Goldango wants to Tera, which it definitely can, that's fine. But I think this is going to force more of like a Flying Tera from the Tyranitar. There it is. Maybe it might not be flying, but I'm assuming. Water, same thing. So basically, Tyranitar had more of a weakness, so they decided to protect that. This should be getting the Goldango off the board. I would prefer to see more of like a Black Glasses Urshifu, I know, or like a banded one. I know I like dealing a ton of damage when I use Single Strike. So hopefully we get that guy off the board. And again, we're just going this type so we don't get like one-shotted by Crunch. Like a crit Crunch would be pretty not great. Hopefully they're not some sort of like weird Scarf Goldango Make It Rain, but let's see what happens. Wicked Blow, looks like they're not Scarfed, easy peasy. Big damage, Goldango is now off the board. which means it does, like, our Fairy Tera is super safe here. Always auto crits, and yeah, let's see what the T-Tara has in store for us. No taunts, please. Please no taunts. Tera Blast, Tera Water. That's great. If you want to go into the Urshifu, that's absolutely fine. If you want to go to the Farigiraf, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, that does not do that much at all. So we're in a great spot here. So Trick Room is now up, and we actually still have this Urshifu, which is great because a lot of their Pokemon are fast. So they were forced to respect Urshifu. We created a level where they say, you got to meet us at this level. We can kill both your mons. You're going to have to expend resources to take us out. They expended the incorrect resources. They didn't take us out, and now we have a huge advantage. We're seeing their item on the Trantor here with the leftovers, and we're in a great spot moving forward. We can just click like... we can just click Dazzling Gleam, we can click Hyper Voice. I'm not a big fan of like the Throat Spray on this sort of Pokemon. I think a much more defensive item like a Citrus Berry or even like, even a Mentorb in some situations is a lot better. Tankaton's completely fine. It cannot go for that absolutely massive Fake Out that it might want. Actually, wait, it can. It has, if it has Mold Breaker, which I don't know if we saw. Mold Breaker that would have let it go for Fake Out if it wanted to. That being said, do we have any good pivots? We do. It's Heatran. So we're going to pivot out our Urshifu for Heatran. We're just going to stay in and click the Hyper Voice. If you want to go all in on our Farigiraf, we just re-bring out the Urshifu, and then re-bring out Heatran's already going to be on the board and we're going to be good to go. So Hyper Voice is fine. Static damage against T-Tar, it's going to get a Throat Spray proc. And Heatran's a good switch in here. I don't think they're going for a Water Tera into the Urshifu. So let's see what happens here. We can always just protect the Farigiraf, but like, I think this is fine. And let's go. Hyper Voice, big damage, no Fake Outs. Should be blocking like a Play Rough here, or like a Gigaton Hammer. So it's our Throat Spray active. Again, that's decent damage. I think that Glastrier is just going to be the Mon that needs to win this game. Dragon Dance is not the move that you should be using in a Trick Room. I'm just trying to tell you them that right now. I don't know what people are doing. We're on ranked. You guys saw it at the start of this game. Like, I don't know what people are doing out here, but Dragon Dance T-Tar is probably not the sauce in this exact matchup. I think at this point, though, should we over-respect the T-Tar? Because, like, freaking Dragon Dance T-Tar is kind of scary. Let's see. I think, realistically, we could probably just get away with, like, clicking the Dazzling here. It's now more damage. And then I kind of want to respect the T-Tar here. But, like, all these moves are pretty not great versus T-Tar. I guess we can just click like that plus Heat Wave. We'd be able to kill the Tinkaton and then open up a spot for like Urshifu to probably come out because now Urshifu probably underspeeds thanks to the Dragon Dance. Let's see. Heat Wave. We'd like to hit the Tinkaton. T-Tar misses. It's fine. Just had hit Tinkaton. Easy peasy lemon squeeze. This is a single target Throat Spray boosted stab Fairy Tera Dazzling Gleam. How much damage are we dealing? It's probably going to be a lot. I bet like that plus Heat Wave would have done a significant amount. Yeah. So one more of those and they're done. They're Dragon Dancing again, dude. This guy's wild out here. I mean, at this point, it's just within Sucker Punch range. But you know what? Like, go nuts, Chuck. It's absolutely fine with me. And let's see. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? What is their last Mon? They're so serious about this Dragon Dance. I mean, hey, more power to him. We're probably going to ignore the T-Tar this turn for the most part, though. Like, I'm going to click the Dazzling Gleam because all our moves are AoE anyways. But, like, let's see. Gothitelle. So you can't Fake Out. I have Armor Tail. Yeah, I think realistically, like, just Dazzling Gleam Heat Wave is just probably the right play in this situation. I will say that you still need Earth Power over Power Gem. They wrote in their description that they have Power Gem to hit Flying types and Fire types are super effective, but the main reason you have Earth Power is for Heatrans, other Heatrans. We're lucky that we're not fighting other Heatrans, but if we do see any of Heatrans, you need Earth Power to be able to check those. So Heat Wave comes out. Big damage against both. The D-Gleam's going to come out here. I wonder if they're like... I wonder what they think they're doing here. I wonder what they think they're doing. I mean, they had all the tools to actually pin us in this game. They had the Fake Out Goth, forces us to use the Farigiraf. They had the Dango. I just feel like... the Dragon Dance T-Tar was not it. Are they Trick Room in the Trick Room here? What are they doing here? Heal Pulse. Oh, okay. Yeah, that wasn't happening. They're trying to go all in on supporting that T-Tar. Holy moly. Yeah, that's not how this one works. But overall, team works fine. We got up Trick Room correctly, and we are going to be able to win this one. So, pretty good first game. And I do think that, like I said, you should be able to be using Urshifu more as a bully in this game. So you should be able to be leading, like, Urshifu next to your two Trick Room setters and saying, like, hey, you have to kill this Urshifu, otherwise I'm going to trade 1-for-1. And when you trade 1-for-1 with one of your Pokemon in a Trick Room game, and you get to immediately then bring out another Pokemon that you know, sweeps in the Trick Room, you're already 1 mon down from them. So that even if they go for like a double protect, you're going to get at least 1 more KO the next turn. And then if they protect again, you're still going to get more KOs. And basically, it lets you close out the game before your Trick Room ends. So if you're playing like a super like hard Trick Room team, being able to trade immediately before the Trick Room even goes up is going to speed that game up by 2 or even 3 or more turns. So think about that moving forward, and let's go into another game. Is that Oricorio? Oh my gosh, what is this? Okay, so we have to be able to not lose the game to Oricorio. I wonder what their big Agromons. They're going to have Taunt on Gyarados, right? So I think something like this is a great time to probably go with like the Rilla aspect of this team. I think like Rilla is going to be able to fake out that Gyarados so it can't taunt us. I think that's probably their only real option here is like a big taunt play. So that being said, who do I want to pair it with? Do I want the Cress or do I want the Farigiraf? I think I'm going to go Farigiraf again. And then I think we are still going to bring Glastrier. We are still going to bring Heatran. Note in this one that we're not going Urshifu. I think Urshifu's still good. Urshifu outspeeds the right amount of things. It can put pressure in the right situations. But like if they open up like Gyarados Murkrow, they can still go Tailwind Taunt over my Urshifu speed tier then, still taunt me to stop Trick Room, and then I'm caught in a situation where I don't KO their Gyarados, and next turn they just kind of roll over my Urshifu, and then I never got Trick Room up and I lose the game. Now we can mitigate that by putting like a Mental Herb on our Farigiraf in the future, but I think we're just playing this very safe, very, very safe by going like this. I want to talk a little bit about this Rillaboom set as well. I think Rillaboom has like a decent set, but realistically, you're probably not going to need Brick Break on this thing. I don't see a situation where you need that. I think you actually need more protection for Heatran than you're allowing right now. I think that like a Stomping Tantrum would probably be better than Brick Break. And I don't think you need Knockoff per se, because like what are you really knockoffing that you wouldn't... What are you knockoffing that's stopping, like, letting your opponent elongate the game? Like, you gotta think, like, what are we knocking off? Leftovers, citrus berries? I don't think there's anything that's that important that we need to knock off that we can't just, like, Oko or, like, you know, U-turn into. So let's see. We see Oricorio and Murkrow. This is like a Feather Dance play. You can see this is where like a U-turn would be amazing. This is where a U-turn would be pretty good. I guess we could knock off here, but like realistically, against like an Oricorio, I guess we could just knock off here, but I don't think that's the right play. I think the right play, it would be just like hard swapping in Heatran, because we don't have U-turn. I would love to U-turn or break Sash on one of these guys, but we're just going to swap in Heatran and go for a Trick Room. Very, very passive, but I'm not afraid of anything this board has in store, because like Murkrow's probably Prankster, which means Prankster taunts don't work on the Farigiraf. They're pivoting out because like Murkrow does not do anything here at all. I do like that we didn't need to bring Urshifu in this game though, so let's see it. Gyarados, there it is. Now, one of the reasons why we swapped was because it was pretty obvious they were going to be bringing in a physical attacker with like Intimidate, or they were going to go for like Feather Dance Dancer strats, right? And we didn't even want to deal with that under our Rillaboom slot, so just bringing in Heatran's a good play. And let's see, there's the Quiver. So just a raw Quiver. I don't know how much we actually have to care about that thing. I think Glastrier is always going to be able to just come in and get that thing off the board. So what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 turns is just doing my absolute best to get this Gyarados off the board. And I see that, like, we have the Power Gem. Like, we have the power. Oh, we're Bug Tera Heatran, too. That's saucy. I think I'm just going to Power Gem this Gyarados, and then, like, realistically, our most damage here is the Hyper Voice this first turn. So we're just going to go for the Hyper Voice into the Gyarados as well. It is Stab. It is neutral. Oh my gosh. Oricorio is so cool. I'm jealous they could use Oricorio. But, like, I still think we're fine. Glastrier should be able to win this game. I also want to commend you on your fact that you use 2 different Trick Room setters with 2 different like defensive abilities, 2 different defensive typings. Yes, there's both Weakness to Dark and Bug, but like Ghosts don't work against both. So it's going to make your opponent have to like split up how they actually want to handle these matchups. Taking out the Gyarados is absolutely massive. And we don't really care that much about the Oricorio. You can click Quiver Dance again, but I think we're going to be okay. Like you can Shadow Ball the Heatran, you can't Shadow Ball the Farigiraf, which is great. Quiver Dance, again, it should be fine. You know, it always gets out of control. It always gets out of control with the Murkrows here. But let's see what happens. They shouldn't bring Murkrow out here. And this is one thing that I think a lot of people like glaze over, is when we're in this mid game and you've swapped out a Mon. I already know you have a Murkrow. I know you have the Oricorio. We saw your Gyarados. I would say you should be bringing out your Murkrow right here for a few reasons. you know, Murkrow's probably not great here. They note that they bring up the Goldango here. But now we know everything. We know every Mon that they have available, right? Well, we haven't even revealed our 4th Mon. So in some situations, it's sometimes better for, you know, if you were in the opponent's situation, to bring out the Murkrow and just say, hey, I could still have one of these guys in the back. You still have to respect all these Volcaronas, all these Salamences, and all these other things. Whereas now, I don't have to respect any of that stuff, and I can just click Heat Wave, and I can just click Dazzling Gleam and do like as much damage as I actually want to do. And if you have something weird to say about that, well then, I'm the one in the driver's seat. Like now you're the one like wasting your protects, wasting all these turns. There's still a couple turns left on Trick Room. We should still be fine. And yeah, let's see. They're going to have some sort of weird Tera, I think, on the Goldango. Probably something like Water Tera. But it's okay. It's okay. Dazzling is probably not going to do all that much. Probably less than the Heat Wave did. But yeah, you see, like, because they didn't have the Murkrow there, I wonder if they're actually going to, like, swap out Goldango for Murkrow, fodder the Murkrow, bring the Goldango back out, protect, wait out the last turn of TR. That's a pretty decent play. That is a pretty decent play. It's gonna we're doing a lot of damage to the Oricorio. They're at +3. Still 2 turns left on this Trick Room. Any crits on that go... I mean, do we just click this button? Do we just go all in on them? I am thinking about it. I'm just going to go for Heat Wave. It's fine. This is still fine. We're not... I mean, this is the same thing as the last game. The guy's like setting up Quiver Dances just like the last guy was setting up freaking... What is it? Dragon Dances. It's ridiculous. Let's see what happens here. Any pivots? You think just go like a Water Tera or something? That's absolutely fine with me. We are keeping the Goldango honest by making this play. Absolutely honest. Water Tera, very, very standard. Not bad. And they're probably, if they have Tera Blast, they'll use Tera Blast on the Heatran, but I don't even know if they have Tera Blast. Happy to hit this Heat Wave. Still great damage versus that Goldango, by the way. Critical hit the Goldango, that's what we like to see. And Citrus. Okay, cool. I'm happy I didn't pull the trigger and just go for like a Power Jump, because that would have left them at about 10-20%. They would have Citrused out of range of this Dazzling Gleam. So I'm happy with how this turns out. It's good damage against both. Make it rain. Okay. You'd think Make It Rain when your Water Tera would be like a water move, but it's not. Quiver Dance. Oh my gosh, they're still letting me get away with this. Okay, so let's actually think about what we want to do here, because Rilla is going to be able to come out and actually like fake out the Goldango or fake out anything we need to fake out. They cannot Tera anymore, like at all, even a little bit. So I wonder how much we actually care. Probably just going to leave things as it is, and then like go for like a Protect, swap, bring in the Rilla back to reactivate Grassy Terrain, and then help us reapply our Trick Room. So that's probably the best play. So just like a Heat Wave here, standard little Heat Wave here, and just another Dazzling Gloom is absolutely fine. They can Protect. I wonder if they actually have Protect on this Oricorio. That'd be nuts. Like they've had it like the whole time. They're like, no, Quiver Dance is fine. But I think we are going to be able to get the Trick Room back up if need be. I wonder if they're going to attack this turn. I wonder what their attacks even are. They should have Revelation Dance. They're going to have Quiver Dance. I wonder if they have, like, anything that actually hits Farigiraf very well. Because Farigiraf has really, really good defensive typing. So let's see. Pivot the Goldango. Good play. So they're foddering the Murkrow slot as long as we hit this Heat Wave. Murkrow goes down for the count. Heat Wave hits. Nice. And then the Dazzling should be able to pick up the kill on the Murkrow. Cool. It's great. We're not doing that much to the Oricorio here. I wonder if they're going to Roost here. That'd be so greedy. Does that thing even get Roost anymore? That Tom Pass into the Dango. That's sick. That's really, really cool. I like a lot of that. But the Goldango's fake outable, right? So what we're going to do is just protect our Farigiraf, right? Fodder the Heatran, and then bring it the Rilla, go fake out Trick Room, and then win the game. So cool tech. Really cool. I'm proud of you, bro. You're making the plays you need to make, but we should be able to get this one. And what we're going to do here is just, like I said, love to see the Protect on the Farigiraf. Love seeing Protect on Trick Room setters. Love seeing Protect on Tailwind users. And then we're actually just going to Power Gem or Flash Cannon. I would say Flash Cannon's probably actually a little bit better if you were playing a best 3 because you want to hide the illusion that you have Earth Power, but we'll go for the Power Gem into the Oricorio. Get that KO even if they go for a Quiver Dance, and then next turn just go fake out Trick Room again. So Power Gem busted. They should just be able to KO the Heatran. We probably don't even get the Oricorio off the board here, but big Protect. Big Protect. Oricorio looks sick, by the way. Mon just looks cool. I've wanted to make an Oricorio team for a while, and I just never really got around to it. But you can see a team like this, like if you actually like have the right partners, you should be able to get Trick Room up every time. I would say this team's probably biggest issue is closing out games before the Trick Room's over. And I would just say like have the right mons in the back, get those fake out users in the back as soon as possible, use them to get the Trick Room up, and then swap them out as much as possible. Man, this guy's gonna be big. Look at this. Oh my gosh, that's 4th to that Heatran, dude. We don't even care. And I want to see what the other move they're using here is. Survey says another Quiver, so we're gonna be able to get that guy off the board. And I guess, like, if they don't have, like, another way to stop this, we should just be fine. What's our Tera on our Glastrier? It is Ground Tera. That's a weird one. Oh, that's just a unique little weird one. Huh. I'm trying to think of what we need to do here. Because, like, I thought they were just going to kill the Heatran with, like, a Shadow Ball or something. I was letting them have it. But if they want to lower their special attack, that's fine. They're still like +3, right? Oh my gosh, look at that guy's stat line. That's nuts. All right, so we could lose the Farigiraf here. We could definitely lose Farigiraf here. Nothing to really use with any of these other guys. And then, like, I guess set up for a situation where we have Rilla, and they're at +2, and we would go Fire Tera. It's probably our best bet. Yeah, so this is fine. We're going to try and set another Trick Room, but I think realistically they're probably going to be able to stop this one. You might as well just go Power Gem. It's our strongest move, I guess. And I guess we'll try and Trick Room. We'll lose at least one of these mons here. Make It Rain's completely okay. Yep, Heatran holds, but it will get ticked out by the Life Orb. We are going to go, like, fake out. We'll probably go for, like, a fake out Stomping Tantrum, which will fail when they use Protect, which means it'll deal more damage. And then, like, the turn after that, we'll go, like, Fire Tera, Rilla, Wood Hammer to close it out. And if they want to overspec the Rilla, they'd probably be going down to the Stomping Tantrum from the Glastrier. So good play from our opponent. They're definitely going to be protecting this turn, but we should still be able to get it. This is where I'd do anything for one of those vested Rillabooms right now, bro. Still a cool set, though. You have 60 in Spadef. And let's go. Grassy Surge. I wonder if it is even the right play just to do that, because, like, realistically, we don't want them to get more health. But it's fine. We can just go for a Stomping Tantrum, which will fail. And, oh, we don't even have Fake Out. This whole time I've been leading this reel like you have Fake Out. Bro, you don't even have Fake Out. You gotta have Fake Out on your Rillaboom, otherwise, like, what's the point of this Pokemon? I led with Rilla bluffing Fake Out, and you didn't have it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully we don't die. See what happens. They're gonna click Make It Rain. It's a spread move. We have 2 mons active on the board. It'd be crazy if, like, Glastrier just didn't die to this. Glastrier is so freaking chonky. But I still think we're going to go down. They're still at +2, Make It Rain. At least it's not like Steel Terra. Nasty plot. Why? What'd you think I was going to do, bro? You thought I was going to play like some sort of like passive play? It's a Rillaboom, bro. It's hammer time. Hey, whatever. Hey, whatever floats your boat out here. They clicked that, and that's fine with me. Huh. They're lefties. They weren't like Covert Cloak baiting the Fake Out. I don't know what that was, but like we take those wins. So there are definitely some changes we need to make. Like we can polish up so many of these Mons EVs, but I do think the 6 that you picked do work together. We just need to clean things up a little bit. So what we're going to do now is take a look at the actual team that was submitted and go and like fix a bunch of the EVs. We're going to start with this Rillaboom. Actually, we're going to fix all our movesets first. You don't need the Brick Break, right? You don't need, we already talked about that. Any situation where like you're breaking screens means your opponent's playing the longer game. If they're playing the longer game, you're just critting through them with Urshifu. You're getting your Trick Room set up, your Glastrier being a bully. Things that set screens like Grimmsnarls don't really have a good matchup versus Glastrier, and you can just spam like Lunar Blessing and have like Glastrier just start cleaning up, especially like Heavy Slam into those Grimms. Let them get their screens, you're going to get boosts off it, you're going to win the game. So Fake Out is much better there. Woodhammer's great. You don't really need to knock off any situation where like you're knocking off something that's elongating the game, like a Leftovers on Hisui and Gudra. In reality, if like that's the one mon you want to knock off, you'd just be better with like a Leech Seed and hope they're like not Sap Sipper, right? Hope that they're like Shell Armor. And we don't even do that as it is. I think the option here would be U-Turn. And I think we should still be Assault Vest here. Assault Vest is pivotal for making the Fire Tera actually work in conjunction with like being able to check things like Chi-Yu and Flutters. And then this last move, just go Stomping Tantrum. We talked about needing a little bit more value for Heatrans in the late game, and this works against Chi-Yu. This works against a lot of very, very popular Pokemon in the format. So this is a standard Rilla set, and it's just kind of what you need to play Rilla correctly on this team. Farigiraf, Protect, Dazzling Gleam, Hyper Voice, Trick Room. I'm not a big fan of the Throat Spray here. I would be putting the Mental Orb here, or a Citrus Berry here. I'm more of a fan of a Mental Orb on this Pokemon because it's so susceptible to taunts. And there's so many mons, like you were running Taunt on Rilla. There's so many mons that are just kind of like teching Taunt that aren't even like prankster taunts that are just really, really good against this thing. So I would put the Mental Orb here. Other than that, like I don't think you need Hyper Voice. I know that sounds really weird, but like Dazzling Gleam's usually good enough. Hyper Voice is an okay move, but I actually think something like Ally Switch could be good here. I've actually used Earthquake on it to check Heatrans recently. I think in some situations, even having that double attack that it gets Twin Beam is actually not that bad of a move because it breaks Sash and it's good versus Urshifu Water. It's really, really good versus Urshifu Water. But I think that like most of these are pretty good. And if you want to keep the Dazzling Gleam Hyper Voice, that's fine. You don't need the Throat Spray. Throat Spray is like too greedy. And if anything, we just want this Farigiraf to be able to get its Trick Room up and then go down. So like you might even want to put something weird like, I'm not going to say like a Memento or anything like weird like that. I don't even think it gets it. But like just something like that that says like, hey, I want this thing to die. Like an Ally Switch works. Hell, even like a Baton Pass works. So you can soak damage with it on the board and just get it back out. So you can bring another Pokemon in safely. It's a weird choice, but you know it works. For this Urshifu, I would put a choice. I would put a Choice Scarf here, a Choice Scarf or Focus Sash. And I think the Focus Sash is a really, really good underrated item on a team like this. But we actually want the Choice Scarf because we want to be able to like to one-shot something that our opponent can't really see coming, right? And then from there, trade the Urshifu. So like if our Urshifu one-shots their Flutter, and their Flutter was the only one that stops our Trick Room, we get up Trick Room, we soak a little damage from the Flutter's teammate or whatever, and then we just bring out our Glastrier or our Heatran or our Rilla, and then we just win the game, right? That's the idea. We trade with one of their Mons, and then we speed up the rest of the game by about 3 or 4 turns. In a situation like this, you could even take off one of these moves for U-turn, which wouldn't be bad, but we'll talk about that when we need to. As for the Heatran, again, you do definitely still need Earth Power. We used Flash Cannon, or sorry, Power Gem a couple times, but Earth Power is still the right play on a set like this because you need to be able to check other Heatrans. It's so important. It's so important that you just can't leave home without it. It's also good against like Armarouge. It's just as good against like Armarouge. So I would say like and Sailage and things like that. So like you kind of just have to have it. It's 4 times super effective against Heatran. That's why we have it. This is a good moveset for this guy. We're gonna obviously take and mess with a bunch of the Ivies and stuff like that, but this is a solid moveset. Cresselia, Trick Room, Lunar Blessing, Helping Hand, Charge Beam. You do not need the Charge Beam. We did not bring this Pokemon because Charge Beam is pretty useless. In any situation where you're getting like multiple special attack procs, it's not even 100% accuracy move. It's weak as all heck. You would be much better off with just a Moonblast here. Just a Moonblast is absolutely fine. And then as for like Helping Hand, we don't really have any situations where like Helping Hand is like absolutely amazing. And note that we aren't using the Mental Orb on this slot anymore. So like for this guy, you know, I would say you'd be better off with something like the Citrus or even like a Rocky Helmet. And so I would go Rocky Helmet, and I would actually, if I were you, make this move Ally Switch. So that way, like, we actually have, like, situations where we can, like, Ally Switch to get certain teammates out of danger and still deal damage with Rocky Helmet. One of the few ways to be proactive with a defensive item. So something like this would be a little bit better. And now that we have all of our movesets chosen, we can go start working on our Eevees and stuff like that and our Teras. I actually still think that, like, Fairy Tera is the best Tera on Cress. But in this situation where you're just trying to get no weaknesses, it could be... Electric's okay. I still think Fairy is good. Fairy's good for a few reasons as well. If you put 12 points in on Fairy and you go in like a damage calculator. So for like a Cresselia here, set this to 50. And if you guys are liking this little series where we go and we fix everything, let me know. Let me know. I like making these sort of videos. If you guys like seeing them, it's great. So if you put 12 points in here and give it Moonblast, right, you can see that we do an absolute ton of damage to that thing because we have a level 100 crest still now. We do an absolute ton of damage here. Moonblast is going to almost OHKO Urshifu every single time, and that's why 4 points is still, or 4 points is enough, but you want to do 12 just to make sure you're still out KOing the Urshifus that like would have the like 4 or like, you know, 4 over somewhere else, right? So this lets you always OHKO Urshi with a Moonblast, Urshi Dark, and then it's like a 2-shot for Shenpao, it's a 2-shot versus Urshi Water. It's just a pretty solid spread. All you need is 12 points for that. As for your Cresselia, you had speed reduced nature, but you still had all your Ivies, so if you can't get like a low speed Cresselia, your other option is to actually put just like a little bit in speed, keep it, and just go with like a minus attack nature. And then from there, I think Cresselia is good. Like, 236 is the actual number that doesn't waste the points. Right there. And I am actually a fan of still keeping the odd number. That way, if you get hit with like a Super Fang or Ruination, you're not showing that you're not Citrus. So they still have to like low-key respect Citrus in some situations. And then from there, you just want to use the rest of your points however you want to. You want more defense. I actually use like a 196 defense with the rest in Spadef. This is the set that I use whenever I use Rocky Helmet Crest. So it's going to be still bulky enough to live like Flutter Shadow Balls and from like Specs or Booster Flutters. But then like on the other side, you're really bulking out like Urshifu Waters and stuff like that. So very, very solid set. And yeah, just give it a shot. Let me know if it works for you. But it is a very solid one. As for Glastrier, it would be very beneficial for you to get 0 speed 1. I would say try your best. If you can't, it's okay. But I would say it'd be very beneficial to try and get one. And then as for Glastrier, there's a few things you can actually do. I think Heavy Slam is good on Glastrier. I think Stomping Tantrum is required on that Pokemon right now. Icicle Crash obviously required. I'm a fan of Swords Dance on this Pokemon. But I understand, like, with a clear amulet, you probably want to try and, like, maximize its value. And so, like, realistically, something like, even something like 244, 444 would work. If you can't be 0 speed reduced, like, if you can't be speed reduced, if you can't get 0 IVs, you need to put some in speed, so you just outspeed other Amoonguses, right? Because this speed ties Amoongus. So if you can get 0 speed reduced, do that. But if you can't do that, know that you need to just put like 412 with no reduced nature and no IVs reduced to be able to outspeed Amoongus. That way you can bully Amoongus outside of Trick Room. That being said, I would still highly recommend a 0 speed reduced. And then from there, we need to think like where we're going to put the rest of these points. I want to see like how much we actually need to OHKO things at like +1, -1, because we don't actually need to be like full attack on this thing. We actually really don't. So this thing's name is Glastrier. Ice Horse. I've just called it Ice Horse for so long, right? Glastrier. Here we go. So we're going to plug in one of these, and we're going to see how much damage we do to a Flutter Mane with Heavy Slam. Because this is one of the mons that you probably have Heavy Slam to check. So Flutter Mane. Alright, so just a blank set Flutter Mane. Set it to 50. So you can see, you just automatically OHKO that Flutter Mane. No investment. Doesn't even matter. You can see also if they go heavy bulk, you still outspeed them. And then maybe if they have like a reflect, where's the reflect button? It's around here somewhere. I always lose the reflect button. It's too small. Can't see it. Aha. Reflect. So you can see like reflex up on those things. We do 61%. And so like we're gonna be like an Adamant or Brave Nature, right? And then like if we had 252, note that that like wouldn't KO, and I just want you to understand that that wouldn't KO if like they had a reflect and like full health. So just throwing that out there. I don't think you're ever going to see that, but like you're probably fine. Let's think about a couple other mons that we might want to KO. Something like maybe Heatran. Let's plug in like a Heatran. So Heatran, let's throw Stomping Tantrum on here. Stomping Tantrum and Icicle Crash. So against a Heatran, Stomping Tantrum obviously does a lot. Most Heatrans are going to be built with like, you know, heavy defense. And so like Stomping Tantrum doesn't KO, but we have the Ground Tera click. So we have Ground Tera as an option here, which means that's always going to do an unlimited amount of damage to Heatran. We can't get intimidated because we're Clear Amulet, so like that's a lot of damage. How much damage do we do if the Heatran then goes Grass Tera? Grass Tera would be up here. Click the button. We see Icicle Crash does a lot. Right? Against like a full health Heatran. That's almost enough to OHKO in every single situation. I would say we're also going to be like low-key running around with here these +1s. So I would say like making sure that these still KO. So probably something like, it's hard to say exactly how much you need. I would basically, like long story short, I would put about 108 in attack on this guy with Adamant Nature and throw the rest in bulk, because I think it's going to be more valuable to basically use the 108 to get like a +1 boost to attack, and like from there you're already in the I OHKO everything every single time. You can't intimidate me. I'm absolutely solid. So this is going to allow you to then put a lot more of these points into like other bulky stats, and I would just go straight into special defense. I would just go absolutely straight into Sped F. And we go 40 there, and then we still have 4 points left over. So like you could then put those, you know, over in there and not waste your points. So I would do something like that. You know, heavy HP, heavy Sped F. We have a huge defense stat already. You're still getting the nature boost to your highest stat. So I would say something like this really works. You can see we basically either way overshot things, or some things are always going to be a 2-shot. And so this is still going to KO Heatrans when you go Stomping Tantrum, Ground Tera. This is going to let you KO Heatrans with an Icicle Crash if they go Grass Tera and you've already KO'd something else. And like realistically, the Heavy Slam's always going to KO stuff like Flutter. So this is a pretty solid set that means basically you were wasting a lot of points in attack in situations you didn't really need them, in my opinion. So now we're a little bit more well-rounded, so we can actually get those Chilling Neighs and stay on the board a little bit longer. It's going to be a better partner for Cresselia, and everything should be good on the set. As for this Heatran, I think realistically the big thing about Heatran is you want to end your HP in 9, so you take less Life Orb damage. That means we actually take out a lot of HP to do that. But then in turn, we're afforded the luxury of like just beefing up like very specific stats as well. So it's not really going to cost us all that much. And I think it is still pretty important. I would say Grass is still a better Tera than Bug on Heatran. And the main reason is like, first of all, Bug's cool. It blocks fighting, right? But you still have that weakness to flying. You still have that weakness to like ice and stuff like that. Well, you have a weakness to ice on Grass where you don't on Bug. But Grass is better because it means you're immune to Spore. That's the reason why. It makes so you just check Amoonguss, right? And so I would still go Grass in that situation. And then like from there, you want to say like, what are the situations where I'm getting big pinned? And so the situation you're getting big pinned is from like other Heatrans. So we have a Heatran on that side, we have a Heatran on this side. All right, let's plug in 2 Heatrans. And we had 180. All right, so let's see how much damage like this Heatran does with an Earth Power. So like an Earth Power from like a 252 modest Heatran does like a lot to us, so that's a lot. And so we want to make sure that never OHKOs, so we can always KO right back. So 152 if possible. Looks like we don't have that many points available. So let's see, what could we then do to mitigate some of that? Because that's like a lot of damage from a full special attack Heatran. What could we do? I mean, we would have to Tera. And then if we did Tera, like what sort of things are we eat? What mounts are pinging us after we Tera? Something like a Landorus. So like if we plug in like a Landorus here, because like we would have to Tera versus that Heatran. So we'll go like this. Let's give the Landorus 252. Let's give it Tera Blast and make it Tera Flying. Click the button. So make it special, physical. Right, so that, and then we have to click the Grass Tera here. Bam. So if we do that, and we click the button, you can see they get the OHKO on us. So we'd like that to not KO for sure. So every single tick that we do out of this is beneficial. And it's roughly the same like amount of damage mitigated. So like, it sucks that we can't always die. But there are situations where you can see it says like it's a guaranteed 2 KO when we have that much. But like, let's say, how many points did we have available? We had 68 points available. So with 68 points in defense, we make it so that 100% KO turns into a 62% chance to win it KO, and we would definitely just take that. I would say just put the 68 points right there, and you're good to go through the last 4 in Spadef, and you're good to go. You can take a lot of points out of special attack if you really want to, but I think this is a fine set. This is going to also mitigate damage from like earthquakes and stuff like that, if you can, right? But realistically, this should be fine. Actually, those are extra points, so we can just throw those realistically just up here and have an even extra tick, so 76. 50% chance. It's an exact 50% chance to OHKO, right? So we take those. It's the best that we're going to get. I don't want to take any points out of special attack on this Heatran, so I think this is probably just about as good as you're going to get. This makes you take the least amount of damage from Life Orb, and then like realistically, you're living stuff that you shouldn't be living as a Heatran. If you just like the 252 set, that works too, but I think this is just a little more optimal way to do it, and it makes her, similar to the Glastrier, this makes you a better teammate for something like the Cresselia when you start spamming these like Lunar Blessings and your HP back, because we're putting points specifically in stats, and then we're supplementing the fact that like we're not going to be using moves to boost our stats, we're using moves to boost our HP pools once we've taken a little bit of damage. Urshifu, we talked about this. I think Poison's still a good Tera for this guy. You don't need Ghost because you're pairing it with a Farigiraf. If we're going to Scarf it, though, you can still keep the Scarf if you want to fight other Scarf Urshifus, but you're for the luxury of actually going Adamant. This still outspeeds anything you need to outspeed, so it's a good set. I like it. And that's for the Farigiraf, right? I think this is still a good set to have. 225 lets you outspeed Annihilate, which means, not outspeed, out HP Annihilate if they wanted to go for like Final Gambit, which is good. This is solid. I don't think you need like this much in either of these. I think this is like wasting a little bit of points too much in special attack. If this was me, I would definitely be taking out all of the points realistically in special attack, but I think that, like, this Pokemon's fine as it is. I don't think we really need to change that much, and realistically, all this thing needs to do is get up a Trick Room and then just enable the rest of the teammates, and it's fine. So I would just leave it. This is obviously a set that does work, so just leave it. If anything, you might still want to put the Citrus Berry on there and then make this guy back into a Mental Orb. As for this Rillaboom can be built 3 or 4 different ways, right? We have Trick Room, so like I would actually say you'd be benefiting more from like a 0 speed reduced Rillaboom, not just because you want to be slow in your Trick Room, but because you want to actually underspeed like Indities and other mons that set terrains, right? So when they lead Indity and you lead Rilla, they're going to set their Psychic terrain because it's almost impossible to get like a 0 IV speed Indity with like Trick Room and stuff like that with the Psy terrain and things like that because it's an event-only mon or a raid-only mon. So it's going to let you underspeed that, which means you actually have terrain, which means you can actually fake out. It's going to be really, really nice. And then like you would fake out, you would U-turn, and you're good to go. From there, I mean, this is a solid Rilla set. I've used this same Rilla set in the past in my own games, and this deals all the damage you need to deal on the physical side. It's super bulky, and like I understand that like now we have the vest with a 60 spit up. Like I think this set, I don't know where you got it, but this was a set that was good back in Sword and Shield, and it was very beneficial for walling like a lot of the special attackers in that format, and a lot of the special attackers in this format are the same things. Like Heatran's still very popular. You know, mons like Fluttermane are basically just like cracked out, you know, versions of like other mons that we already had in the past. So I would say that this is still like probably a pretty good set. All you really need to do is just make yourself an Assault Vest, give yourself a little bit better moves coverage. Let's check one thing here and see how much damage we do to something like a Heatran with our Rillaboom. Because we would like ourselves, let's go Rillaboom. Because you can't actually OHKO Heatran with a Stomping Tantrum. I do not think that you do. So 196 Brave. Stomping Tantrum. And I don't think a 252 does it either. And take away their Tera. So like 196 Brave does not get it. 252 can get it, but it's just not worth the investment. It's just not worth the investment. Like if you go back over here and have like the Heatran on this side, using like Earth Power against us, you see like, let's see, Earth Power against like, or not Earth Power, what I say Earth Power, Heat Wave. No, it was Earth Power. It was Earth Power. Earth Power against like Fire Tera Rilla or something like that. Let's click the button. You can see how they would normally do like a lot of damage, but like the fact that we have 252, 60 with an Assault Vest, it doesn't, it ends it at 50. This was the same calc like back in the day, you know, so it's like, it's going to be a 3-shot from an Earth Power when we're Fire Tera, and we can also weave that in with the fact that we have like, what is it? We have like Grass Terrain and stuff like that too. So it's a pretty solid set. And yeah, I think this is a pretty cool team. Hopefully it wins some games. Let's go play some games live on Pokemon Showdown and see how the team holds up. Okay, a little bit of sun, right? A little bit of sun. I think Jump Up is sometimes kind of hard to deal with. This is where sometimes I would highly recommend like maybe thinking about making this like a Grass Terra so you can sometimes get that up. But I think in this exact situation, I think something like Rillaboom, being able to like fake out that Jump Up, maybe see if they have like a Covert Cloak or something, could be very, very good. I think Rillaboom and I would say probably something like the Cresselia here are going to be very, very nice. I would still bring Heatran, I would still bring Glastrier. I think Urshifu is still sometimes good, but I think we are going to be able to get up Trick Room, not care too much about the Torkoal, because we have things like Heatran, Glastrier can Terastallize away from taking super effective damage, and then from there, we're just going to roll them over. So hopefully we get this win, and I'm trying to think of like their lead optimizations. They could probably go things like Jumpluff, Torkoal, they could go Torkoal Flutter. If they want to go for any of those sort of things, realistically, we can always bait some of that stuff out with like Protects and stuff like that, so I think we're good. I really like that, yeah, I think we have solid options. We can always like Ally Switch and make Rillaboom have to deal with stuff too, you know what I mean? There's a lot of cool things we can do here. We're not too afraid of things like Leafeon or Roaring Moon, I would say. And we're more so afraid of like Specs, Proto-boosted Flutters, Sleep Powders from Jumpluffs, you know, Torkoal's going for like Eject Pack, Overheats, things like that. I'd say those are more scary, but we're still waiting for the game. And yeah, I wonder if this person thinks like we're streaming out, they want to go like check the stream. So there's the Torkoal. There's a Jump Off. That's exactly what we thought we were going to see. So in this exact situation, there's two things that we can do. We can fake out the Torkoal to leave it on the board, and if they hit the Sleep Powder, they hit the Sleep Powder. That would suck. We can fake out the jump bluff to make sure no sleep powder comes, soak the overheat, maybe lose the Rilla, maybe not, and then get the Trick Room up. But then this board's pretty underwhelming in that Trick Room. So what I think we're actually going to do is just hard switch out the Heatran, and I'm just going to try and Trick Room. Solid. Like, if you hit sleep powder, you hit sleep powder, but I don't need to do anything extra here. We could also have clicked U-turn here. I don't think you need to click U-turn here. I think I'd rather just hard swap out just in case something weird happens. These Torkoals are sometimes known. See, also, you don't want to U-turn into things because situations like that kind of happen where, like, people go for protects, and if the U-turn fails on the protects, that's a big L. So Trick Room's now up. We now pin this jump bluff, so we can just click the Heat Wave. I think we're fine versus, like, an Earth Power there, especially if we were to click Ally Switch in that situation. We would be super fine. I don't think there's a single situation where I care about that, so I will click Ally Switch to see if that Torkoal has, like, a yawn into the Heatran, because I could see, like, Protect Jump Bluff yawn into Heatran, and we want to make that go into the Cresselia slot if possible. And then we would just pivot out Cresselia and be fine. So Ally Switch Degeneracy on deck here. That's the swap out. Roaring Moon. Photosynthesis boost into speed, not bad. Earth Power blocked on that Levitate. You see the actual changes we're making coming in hot here. And that's great. It's absolutely, absolutely amazing. So we can probably get away with just going like a Moonblast into that guy. Go Grass Tear to not die to the Heat Wave. Sorry, the Earth Power, and just win the game. Gonna be pretty good. Actually, we can just go like Moonblast there and Grass Terra Earth Power the Torkoal. Torkoal might protect, but Moonblast should be able to OHKO that because it's fourth. Overheat. Yo, they woke up and chose the violence here today. Oh my gosh, not bad, not bad. They ignored Heatran. They did not take the bait. They are going to lose their Roaring Moon here. I want to see if this is Jump Left coming back in. I don't really care. But let's see what they want to do. It's a good play from them. I'm surprised they didn't just go for the Earth Power, though. Yeah, we could have just Heat Wave there. Well, now, this guy's going down. They can bring that Torkoal back out, but we don't, like, really care. We have Flash Fire, right? So we don't really care what happens here. Still 2 turns left on Trick Room, and we are going to be able to close this one out. Leafeon, this is just a Heat Waveable board. So yeah, Heat Wave looks great here. I'm going to go Heat Wave plus Moonblast. We're going to Moonblast that guy to take away Sash, if possible. There's a chance that like they go Water Tera with something. But I think we're fine. I'm very surprised they still brought Leafeon. And we still have all our good mons in the back. Like, that's the thing. We still have all our good mons. We're not afraid of Sleep Powder. We have the Grass Tera on the Heatran. And I think we can do this. So you can see, like, the advantage in, like, adding the Ally Switch to Cresselia helps this team out a lot. Adding the Moonblast on the Cresselia actually makes it, like, an aggressive threat, whereas before it would have taken so many turns to activate, like, charge beams. Hopefully we hit. Hopefully we get the 70% chance to boost the stat. This is just a much more streamlined version of what you were already working with. And Torkoal can totally swap in here. Ain't no one caring. Rock Tera. Almost OHKOing. Not very effective. That is Rock, right? Oh my gosh, what is that? What even is that? What do they do with that? Rock Tera, huh? Not very effective on the Leafeon. Hey, you don't see that every day. They can totally, like, go for whatever they want here. We are going to be able to get this win. And Rock Tera Leafeon, I don't think I've ever seen that. Heatran is so strong. Even with, like, the set that we had, like, we took some points out of... Well, we didn't take anything out of special attack, but, like, this Heatran still just cooks. So, pretty good first game. You can see we made some good changes. We had everything we needed to win that game, and we're going to go into one more. All right, I actually really, really like this because this guy looks like he's playing Trick Room, which means what we want to do in this game is low-key bully them into setting Trick Room for us and then winning with what we want. So that means we can lead with things like Urshifu, which we normally wouldn't want to lead with. Unless we were like trading. We want to save our Glastrier in the back to be able to underspeed that Ursaluna at all times. So Glastrier is going to be in the back in a lot of situations. And then like realistically, we want to lead with stuff that basically takes our opponent out of their own comfort zone. You can go stuff like Cresselia here and go for ally switches. You can go with Heatran and just start trying to do a ton of damage. I think I will actually lead the Heatran. And then we're going to bring the Glastrier, right? And then I'm thinking which one of these I really want. And I think the actual answer here is the Cresselia. It's either Cresselia or Rillaboom. And Rillaboom is good versus just Rotom. It's good versus some of those as well. We underspeeded a bunch of those guys. But like, I'm going to bring the Cresselia. I think the ability to like ally switch to Cresselia is really, really good in these mirror matches. So note that they clicked Rotom first. Rotom is the first Pokemon they selected. It's on our right, which is their left. Which means they saw our team and they said, Rotom, that's my guy. I need Rotom to beat this guy. So in like this situation, I really think that we can just try and get it off the board. Wicked Blow is going to be a ton of damage to it. They're going to have to go like Fairy Tear or something weird, and we can just Hard Swap Cresselia to block an Earth Power. Double Cresselia swaps in. Wow. They swapped out that Heatran because they were trying to go for... This is totally fine, by the way. We have Lunar Blessing here. They swapped trying to get a block of a fighting attack there, and we don't really care that much. We're still going to Wicked Blow the Crest. I don't care if you have Rocky Helmet, and then we will just go for a Lunar Blessing. And if you want a Trick Room, that's absolutely fine because we want you to set Trick Room. Hands comes in, so we've seen all their mons already. Good damage into Crest. Rocky Helmet, maybe? No Rocky Helmet. Lunar Blessing's up. And Dazzling Gleam. Okay. That is weak. That's why you got to use Moonblast. We already had those calcs up. So we actually have a really good pin here if we want. I think they're going to probably D-Gleam again. I'm just going to swap in the Glastrier. And there's nothing we really need to do in this situation. Swap in Heatran. But like they're probably going for like... They might be going for a fighting attack. I'm going to Ally Switch then. It's fine. It's a fine Ally Switch. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Calm Mind Cresselia. Wow, what is this guy doing? SD and Calm Mind. Holy moly. This guy's going to the freaking races out here. Huh. Moonblast there. Protect here. Soak some damage. We need to get some damage in on his hands. That is nuts. You don't see that very often. Calm Mind Crest, huh? Stored Power. Not today. Drain Punch. Not today either. So we got that Ground Tera. I'm probably going to use the Ground Tera this turn. They have to be respecting Ally Switch. It's the value of Ally Switch. We sent it out and we showed it. So now they might be willing to, like, you know, Drain Punches into this Cresselia slot. So we're going to go Moonblast here. Ground Tera, Stomping Tantrum there. Hopefully we get the KO. I don't know if we do. Be cool if they, like, attacked the Glastrier. Stored Power is absolutely fine. We don't care. Yep, see, they did it. So that's the value of Ally Switch, right? Because it fails now, too. Like, they don't know where we're going to go. It's so crazy. And, yeah, that thing going down is humongous. There's now a Rotom on the board, which means, like, we don't really care. And because we know that their last Mon is Heatran, we can just set Trick Room. Trick Room's up. Go for Protect. KO that Rotom when we feel like it. Yep. Lunar Blessing's fine. I think we probably can still KO that guy. Like, will Moonblast plus Icicle Crash take out that Rotom? Try it. Again, they might just fail the Ally Switch and, like, Hydro Pump that Crest slot, right? Big damage. Any citruses? No. Damn, that's Cresselia's going big. Flinch! Flinch on the Icicle Crash. We take those. And we did 17%. So we can actually kill that guy with Rotom this turn. Let's see what we want to do. They're going to click Lunar Blessing. So we need to still double up into that slot. They're probably going to Protect, though. And Lunar Blessing. They haven't shown Protect. They've shown Wisp. That's fine. Swap out into the Heatran. Okay. Wow. This Cresselia is starting to go big. We have an Urshifu, though. So it's like we're just going to come out and click Wicked Blow into it. They know that we have Stomping Tantrum. It's fine. I'm playing standard. I'm playing standard. Yep, absolutely okay. Stomping Tantrum now will fail, which means next turn we deal a ton. We don't get KO'd yet. And now we have a lot of damage. We're actually going to go after the Heatran slot here. Let me think about that. If I go after that and they D-Gleam here, I'm big sad. Yeah, we can go back in the Rotom and then just go for like a... I want this to work. I know they're just going to pivot in the Rotom. It's fine. Oh, Icicle Crash. I know they're going to the Rotom. Just get the Rotom off the board. We miss Icicle Crash on Rotom. That sucks. That sucks. We had the game won. Oh, well. All right, we got to go after this Cress. So let's see what happens here. That was lame. That was lame. I think if they have a Tera, they're going to use it. There it is. Grass Tera. But we clicked Heat Wave. Thunder Wave. Oh, no. Which means they're going to be faster than us. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. Heat Wave. Ticket to a better night's sleep. Burn. We take those. Burn, baby, burn. It's Cresselia time. And if we go back to this Heatran, remember, we are speed reduced 0. Like, well, your Heatran is 8. Well, now I didn't even notice that. Make that 31. Or make it 0. Like, I mean, if 8's what you got, 8's what you got. That means realistically, because we're so paralyzed, we have to go protect Trick Room. Oh, we're dead. Lunar Blessing's big here. Big bad for us. That's game. We lost. Yep. Oh, why would they do that? We're Heatran. I mean, Trick Room's up. Why didn't they just click Earth Power? You don't have the Earth Power button? Earth Power is a pretty good move last time I checked. Yeah, that's a misplay from them. I mean, we'll still just Lunar Blessing and go back up to full. And then we're still going to underspeed their Cresselia. Wow, why would they do that? Huh. Yeah, Earth Power, big damage. Store Power, not doing it. Lunar Blessing, make sure we're not going to get fully paralyzed anymore. And then, like, what do we want to do here? We can go for Protect, Lunar Blessing again, get some more health. And, like, this Cresselia is about as set as it's going to get. That's a good move set. But, like, I think that we actually just one-shot them with a Heat Wave when it actually is time. Yeah, they just scooped. They actually just left. If you see, if I go like this, they just dunzoed. So, that's fine with me. We have to still hit the Heat Wave, so, like, we'll take them leaving. But, yeah, I guess we could have played that a little bit cleaner. But, you know, we had some missed Icicle Crashes and stuff like that. But it's basically just the mirror. I think we showed the value in a bunch of the changes that we made to the team. So working for me. We're going to go into one more game because I want to play one a little bit cleaner. But, yeah, we definitely stay taking these wins all the way to the bank. Gengar, Corviknight, Gastrodon. All right, so against Gastrodon, I think that you can, like, justify bringing Rillaboom. I think it's a good mon. I think Urshifu's also, like, a decent mon against a lot of this stuff. I actually think this is a great game to show off the value of, like, Urshifu being used as bait against a lot of those mons. So, like, Urshifu with... I mean, Farigiraf's okay. Farigiraf's okay. I still think I would go Cresselia here. And then, like, I like Heatran, but it has to go Grass Tera. And, like, I like Glastrier. I'm going to go Heatran and Rilla, though. I think Rilla is going to be pivotal for just getting the Gastro off the board. I don't think we can actually play the game with Gastro. So, we see these two. So, we were talking about, like, you had, like, Brick Break on, stuff like that. We can just let them screen and be like, okay, go nuts with your screen. It's totally yours. You can have that screen. You can also, like, fake out any of these mons this turn, but then Trick 'em goes up. You fake out here, you lose your Torn or get your Torn severely messed up. Or if you fake out the Urshi, Trick 'em goes up, and then I underspeed your... Well, not underspeed, but I just swap out into Heatran and play the game correctly. So Reflects up. Critical hit almost gets the Oko. They're Rocky Helmet Torn. And they miss the Bleak Wind. Rocky Helmet Torn means they're, like, full HP defense, by the way. And so Moonblast would KO that guy. I think we're just going to swap out the Urshi because they're going to be using... what is that? Probably just Spirit Break in that slot. And we can just go for a Moonblast into that guy. They could Light Screen if they really feel like it, but, like, it's no big deal. Taunt! That's Moonblast time. It's Moonblast time. And now we have a Fake Out pin if we want it. So we can go Fake Out, rebring out our Urshifu if we really feel like it. Alright, so that's the demon over there. Let's see. I kind of want to put, like, Leech Seed on Rilla sometimes. Sometimes I feel like it, and sometimes I don't. But Heatran's great against both of these if we play it correctly. We already saw the Rocky Helmet, so we can actually get away with a few different things. So we're just going to Fake Out there. Hard Swap in the Heatran. You can go for a Light Screen if you want. Don't really care. Spirit Break. It's absolutely fine. Spirit Break's great. And so in this situation, I think we just want to start trying to get that guy off the board. We're going to U-turn into the Grim. Just go for a Heat Wave. And we're going to try and see, like, what this Corviknight actually brings to the table. You don't really see Corviknight all that much anymore. Light Screen's great. Any burns we get would be absolutely massive. U-turn, we're going to bring in our Cress, and we're just going to try and play, like, a little bit of a longer game. We're going to wait at the Trick Room and then just come in with Urshi and finish them off. Like, Iron Defense, Urshi's just going to crush through that. So we're trying to get them to be at about half. So here we go. Do we need to Lunar Blessing? We can probably just cycle. Last turn Trick Room. We're going to Hard Switch in our Urshi here and just Heat Wave again. And then we'll have a pin with our Urshi. Hey, that works. Heat Wave, double hit. You can Roost this turn if you feel like it. Oh, is that a Citrus? That means you have no other weird defensive items. Roost means you go back into full. It's a good play. And I will actually click the Wicked Blow. I think Wicked Blow plus the Heat Wave plus, like, another Heat Wave, like a Fake Out Heat Wave, will be able to get it. So Wicked Blow, there's forces a Tera at the very least. Crits, great damage. Body Press. Wow, no Roost here, huh? No Roost there, huh? Gotta hit these. Nice. Burn is amazing. That's a game ender right there. Just straight up right there. It's a game ender. And now you just send out the Rilla. All we have to do is hit one more Heat Wave and we got it. Probably don't even have to hit a Heat Wave, but like I will use Heat Wave. Like probably like Flash Cannon probably does get that KO. But yeah, Heatran's pretty good. And then we're just going to swap out the Heatran for Crest to get rid of those 2 special attack drops. And then U-turn, bring it right back out. And then we're going to have a board that's Heatran Crest to be able to solidify their last Mon, which is probably, I think it might be their Urshi. It might be something like Gengar or Gastro, but I doubt it. I feel like they would have already had that thing on the board doing stuff. So they're big thinking. They know we got the Fake Out. They're running out of turns on their screens. You can see we've basically just like super ignored that Grimmsnarl. The Reflect, they have Taunt on the Grim. There's the Gastro. It's coming in. Absolutely fine. It's totally, totally okay. Next turn, we're going to... oh, we miss a Heat Wave. Can we get a burn? All these games where I'm just like sitting here fishing for burns, dude. Degenerate. All right, so let's actually think about this. We are going to... I will Woodhammer the Gastrodon. Unless I could Woodhammer the Grim right now and just get it off the board. I think I will actually do that. I don't like Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl can go do anything else. That Gastrodon's either A, protecting, or B, swapping to Corv. Or it's terrestrializing. That's the C option. And we have Stomping Tantrum for that if we need it. So Grimm's done. Dunzo Grimzo. Icy Wind. Cool. Setting up for another Trick Room then. And now their Taunt user's gone. So now we can actually go for like Lunar Blessings, Ally Switches, all those good things. So let's think about what this Corv is going to do. Do I really care? I'm going to Stomping Tantrum the Gastro. And I think I'm just going to Lunar Blessing. I think we can just chill. We don't need to do anything drastic right now. Roost is absolutely fine. The fact that that Corvus burn means we never have to care about it. Yawn is correct. Good damage there. Alright, so the only way we lose is if like we swap in and like get absolutely rocked from something. I think like just Stomping Tantrum to that slot. And like, you don't want to ally switch, but like, I'm fine doubling to that slot. Just a little bit of damage. Any special attack drops would be nice. Yawn's totally okay. Just going to take the L. I wanted that Gastrodon to go down. If it has Protect, it's definitely using it this turn. Things are starting to get out of control here. But I think that Rillaboom can win this game like by itself, even if we lost something. Like so. Yeah. They're suspecting, yeah, this is right. Protect's good there. We just can't let ourselves get drowsy, and that thing is going like big on the Iron Defense train. So we get our Heatran on the board. This lets us bring out our Crest on this side. So now we can just go for Heat Wave pins. And then if we were to protect here, right, and Hard Switch and Rill, we'd have a Fake Out pin with it. And that's the play we want. Yep, it's exactly what we needed. Yep, see, like they can't do anything about that, so it's good. So they're going Body Press. We still have our Tera here if we need it, right? Yeah, so like we still have Tera, so we can just go Fake Out into... I'm going to Fake Out the Gastrodon, and I'm going to go Grass Tera, and then I'm just going to click Heat Wave. This makes it we just eat the Body Press like a champ, but we solidify like checking that Corviknight slot. That's great damage. Great damage against Corv. Yep. Big damage. Burn finishes that guy off. Life Orb busted. Right? Maybe not. Maybe go around. Let's go. He's at 1%. That's fine. So we can just click Stomping Tantrum Heat Wave here. And we got it. Cool. Cool beans. And we should be able to get this one. So, like, again, probably could have played it, like, a little bit cleaner. But, like, realistically, there's nothing that people can do about this team when you, like, get set in that position. And they have to really expend a lot of resources dealing with Urshifu. Again, we could have just led Trick Room and went, like, Glastrier or Heatran and probably won. But if we're trying to like solidify what this team needs to do in like a best of 1, best of 2, best of 3, forcing your opponent to expend the resources to over-respect Urshifu lets us get up the correct speed control we need to allow our mons like Heatran and Rillaboom and Glastrier to succeed in the late game. So thank you so much for submitting this team. I really like the way this team turned out. Again, if you can get those like 0 speed reduced Heatrans, try it. If you can't, I would probably just like go full speed and not be speed reduced, or at the very least, like if you can get a speed reduced one of these, definitely try and get it if you can. And then, like, as for the Cresselia, this is a much better Cresselia set. This Urshifu set makes a lot more sense with what the team's trying to say that it does. This set was pretty good as is, but, like, the Mentor makes it so when you ever want to pair it with Rillaboom or pair it with, like, a different Mon, they can't just go with, like, a taunt from, like, a random Mon that gets it. Prankster taunts don't work because the Armor Tail and just a much safer set. You can also think about making this into a Grass Tera to stop, like, spores and other stuff like that. But I think this is a very cool team, so thank you so much for submitting it. I got their post right here. I love this team. I'm looking forward to that Pincurchin team that they're working on. And yeah, if any of you guys have teams you want to submit, think about checking out this post. I'm working my very best to get all these teams done before Regulation E comes out. They're going to make another one of these for Regulation E, and there's so many cool posts on this Patreon. Not just this team's mission post. I make all my official posts for all my really cool teams ideas that I don't even show on the YouTube channel on that Patreon. So think about checking out the lowest tier. The $2 tier gets access to this post, this submission post, and all those posts, and like the Patreon tab in our Discord. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys check out the Patreon. And other than that, peace out. I'll see you guys next time.